going on, Jerome's? So when we did this with the Minnesota Vikings versus the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers, who has the best rooster? Who has the best starters heading into 2022? People liked it. So there you go. And I understand. Well, you're weighing the importance of a quarterback as the same as a long snapper. Whatever. Again, whatever. Much smarter people than I can do weighted averages. And if you don't like it, start your own channel. So there you go. So we're going to compare and contrast the Minnesota Vikings, soon to be Super Bowl champions, against the crooked Chicago Bears, who may be on the clock for the number overall selection. Just great. So we're going to compare and contrast starters position by position, and then at the end of the day, we're going to see who comes out on top. So starting at the top, quarterback Kirkua, Jerome, Ezekiel, Cousins versus Justin Fields. Now, I do like Justin Fields. I feel bad for him to a degree because the Bears have stocked a lot of poop around him. Their offensive line got worse. They lost some key skill position guys like Allen Robinson. But yeah, it's going to be Kirk Cousins all day long. Kirk on his best day can be a top 8, top 10-ish type quarterback, a guy that you can win a Super Bowl with. And Justin Fields, he's had his moments for sure, notably that Steelers game, but he needs help around him. And as right now, he doesn't have it. Running back. So this one's tough. Actually, not tough. And by tough, I mean the opposite of tough. So Dalvin is in the superstar strata. David Montgomery is very, very good, but he's not even in Dalvin's orbit right now. So advantage Vikings in that spot. Also, if you want to go down the list of running backs, I mean, the Vikings do have the deepest running back room in the National Football League. Fullback-wise, so this is interesting. C.J. Ham, for my money, is one of the best fullbacks in the league. Kari Blossengame was a former Minnesota Vikings, a UDFA coming out of Vanderbilt, and he was originally a tailback. They switched him to fullback. He showed some nice promise. Then he went to the Tennessee Titans, and now he's ending up on the crooked Chicago Bears, but is what it is. Even though I like Blossengame, no, not so much. Justin friggin' Jefferson versus Darnell Mooney. Now, when we ranked the NFC North wide receivers, we surprised a lot of people when we put Mooney ahead of Thielen. I do think that Mooney has a chance to be a superstar in this league. But no, he's not even in the same neighborhood as Justin friggin' Jefferson. So that's very much an obviously advantage Vikings. And again, we're taking off the Vikings hat. We're trying to be objective. Almost heaven, West Virginia, because we just don't want to say Vikings, but it might end up that way. Who really knows? Wide receiver 2. So we got Adam Jerome, Ezekiel Thielen up against Byron Pringle. Even though, hey, the deal with Pringles, I understand that the can is like a tennis ball can from back in the day, but so I've seen the meme for the ingenious idea of having one of those twist things at the bottom like they have for deodorants, so that way you don't have to just go completely like all in on the Pringles can. That's to say Byron Pringle, whatever. KJ Osborne versus rookie Velus Jones Jr. Coming out of Tennessee. Now, I do like VJJ, but not so much. KJ, I think, has a chance to be a fantastic wide receiver 3, maybe even wide receiver 2 coming soon for the Vikings. Then Irv Smith is against Cole Kmet, the former Notre Dame. No. Wait, that's their song, right? Doesn't matter. I'm actually going to give one to the Bears because I feel like it's going to be a rout. And Irv, yeah, he hasn't proven it yet. It's a lot of potential. Cole Kmet is pretty decently solid, so we'll give an advantage there. We'll throw him a friggin' bone. Otherwise, it may be a clean sweep, man. Is what it is. Darius versus Tevin Jenkins. Now, Tevin Jenkins was injured most of last season. Also, they're taking it slow with him this offseason, so whatever. Darius was also hurt, but he showed some really nice flashes. I think that Darius can be a Pro Bowler. Jenkins, who was a great right tackle at Oklahoma State, they're switching him over to left tackle, so we'll see. The former second-round pick, advantage Vikings. Ezra versus Cody Whitehair. What am I saying? It's not going to be a sweep. Even though I love and respect Ezra Cleveland, Cody Whitehair is a dude. I loved him coming out of Kansas State. He's one of the interior offensive linemen for the Bears that I can really respect. Him and James Daniels were a really nice combination for a hot second before Daniels went and signed for all the money in free agency. Center, Garrett Bradbury. Sort of is what he is at this stage, a former first-round pick, a bit of a bust so far, but Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, Chris Cooper are like, mama, I can change him. And then Lucas Patrick is a utility offensive lineman coming down from the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers. I'm actually going to say Patrick Why not? Why not at this point? Because I got in trouble because I picked Bradbury over Josh Myers. Late night with Josh Myers for the Packers last video, so whatever. Chris Reed versus Sam Mustipher. Now, Mustipher's had his moments, but Chris Reed really played well last year in place of Quentin Nelson. I think that he is probably the favorite to be the 5th starting offensive line for the Vikings. Chris Reed, and then Brian O'Neill versus Larry Borum. Boom. Now, Borum did have a nice rookie year. I believe as a 5th-round pick out of Missouri. Played really well in terms of a Bears rookie offensive lineman since they obviously didn't have Jenkins last year. To the defense. Now, we should put an asterisk by this because I don't think that Robert Quinn is going to be on the Bears this season. I think that eventually they do move him, especially since Ryan Poles and company do seem to be like number 1 pick. There you go. But even that being said, I would still take Danielle Hunter over Robert Quinn, even though I understand Robert Quinn broke, whose record did he break? Richard Dent's single season sack record for the Bears last year. And if you're breaking Richard Dent's record, that's a pretty damn big deal. But at his peak, I do think that Danielle Hunter is better than Robert Quinn, and we're going to see that peak very shortly. So advantage to Danielle Hunter. Diesel Dalvin versus Justin Jones. Harrison Phillips versus Angelo Blackson. So after the Bears got rid Eddie Goldman retired after he signed with the Falcons, they let go of Akeem Hicks. They really gutted this defensive interior. So it's going to be Edwards has his moments, but it's going to be a clean sweep here for the Vikings. And Darius Smith is coming off an injury, even though he played great in the playoffs against the Niners. Travis Gibson is a guy that I really liked. Coming out of Tulsa, he was actually drafted by the Bears in an exchange of draft picks with the Vikings. So that's interesting. But hasn't gotten the time of day so far, being stuck behind Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn. But I think that he has a chance to spread his open wings and learn to fly again. Whatever, but yeah, probably Tulsa's going to get after it. Either way, Darius. Then, this one's tough. Roquan Smith is a bad dude, man. Roquan is just a tackling machine. If you combined Roquan's tackling ability with Kendricks' coverage ability, you would have the perfect linebacker, and that's not even hyperbole. But at this stage of their careers, I still am going to go with Kendricks. I think that he is still at the peak. Roquan, again, stud, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, not against Hendricks. Jordan Hicks versus Matt Adams. I'm going to go with the vet. I'm going to go with Jordan Hicks in this spot. You also could throw in Asamoah. I'd still take him over Matt Adams. And then to the secondary. So this is where the Bears are going to make a little bit of hay because the secondary is still pretty damn good. So Patrick Peterson versus Jalen. Why does it put Jalen Smith? Jalen Johnson. The pride of Utah has had some shoulder issues, yes, but I think that when he's healthy, he is one of the better cornerbacks in the division. So we're going to go there. And this is just because, Patrick Peterson aging out a little bit. He's not Patrick Peterson anymore, and Jalen is on the ascension. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Well, except against the Vikings. That's all. Cameron Dantzler, who finished up last season very nicely. I really do like Kyler Gordon coming out of Washington. So this one's close. So basically, you have a year of decent tape with Cameron Dantzler last season, even though he came in with a lot of adversity. And then you have Kyler Gordon, who has all the potential in the world. I'm going to go slight edge Kyler because we're trying to even things out and be objective in this spot. They got Andrew Booth Jr. versus Thomas Graham working as the third corner. I'll take Booth Jr. Jr. versus Jr. There you go, nailed it. Then to the safety room. So we got Harrison Smith versus Cheeseburger Eddie Jackson. Now, Eddie Jackson was one of the better safeties in the league last year. Maybe not so much. Harrison, even though he's not Harrison anymore, still made the Pro Bowl, still playing at a high level, so I'm going to give slight edge over to Harrison Smith. And then you have a battle of the two rookie safeties. You have Lewis Seen coming out of Georgia. Vikings took at 32. Jaquan Brisker, who the Bears took in the second round, coming out of Penn State. Now, I really do like Brisker a lot. I thought that he would have been a great fit for the Vikings if they didn't go safety in the first round, if they went in the second round, if they maneuvered and got something done there. But I'm going to give advantage to Lewis Seen in this situation. And then specialists, you got Greg Joseph versus Cairo Santos. Greg. Jordan Berry versus rookie Trenton Gill. Berry. Hey, Chuck, it's your cousin Marvin Berry. And then long snapper Andrew DePaulo versus Patrick Seales. Patrick Seales is notoriously the worst long snapper in the league. I don't know that. Just made that up. Don't quote me on that. Now, is it libel or when it's stated, or is that written? Or is it defamation when it's stated? It really doesn't matter. Either way, I'm sure Patrick Scales is fine. It's really tough to parse that. Does PFF do long snapper grades? I feel like they should. because why the hell not? But as total things up, so we had, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so we had 12 on offense, 12 on defense, 3 specialists, so that would be 27. So the Bears got, that would be easier to count. So the Bears got 5 out of 27, so that means the Vikings got 22 out of 27. Not bad. Not bad. No big deal. The only place where the Vikings lost to the Bears is at tight end for now until Irv really pans out. Interior offensive line, that was a given. Cody Whitehair, Lucas Patrick over Ezra and Bradbury at this point. And then in the cornerback room, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, who I think are going to be fantastic corners going forward. And then you got Patrick Peterson versus Cameron Dancer. But that's it. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts. Where did we get it right? Where did we get it right? And how would you rank these things? Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.